Male anglerfish immediately latch to females after hatching, fusing with them for good. They lose most of their organs and become female spam bank. Somebody painted their garage doors to confuse people. French police used high-pressure water cannons against protesters Tuesday in Lyon, so the protesters lit up a big fire on the middle of the street and dried their clothes. Tomahawk land attack cruise missile, moments before it destroys its target. A meatball made from flesh cultivated using the DNA of an extinct woolly mammoth is presented at Nemo Science Museum in Amsterdam, Netherlands on March 28th. Photo by Piroshka van de Wouw, Reuters. An 11th century Viking well under a local shop in Dublin. Looks fake but it's not. Golf course next to the pyramids of Giza. A separate green screen is required whenever Power Rangers has a blue and green ranger on the same team. German Shepherd carved from a tree trunk. Whale oil shines a bright pastel blue while under a bulk light. Protests in France are intensifying. The story of an Unzio Lagamarcini who built a flying house by himself out of scraps. The house could be lifted 20 meters in the air and could rotate 360 degrees. Why? His wife wanted to be able to see the sea and always have sunlight in the living room. A village in Poland. Mississippi's 8 restaurant workers survive enormous mile-wide 200 miles per hour twister that killed 26 by hiding in diner's walk-in refrigerator. Before. Bill Haast, a Florida man, injected snake venom into his blood to immunize himself from deadly bites. He was bitten over 172 times by usual deadly snakes, but survived each time. He lived till the age of 100. How a book written in 1910 could teach you calculus better than several books of today. In 2000, a Utah father designed this tombstone for his son depicting him free of his earthly burdens. His son spent the majority of his life wheelchair-bound, blind, and paralyzed from the waist down. For more than 2 years, a wild elk had a car tire stuck around his neck. Colorado wildlife officers finally shot it with a tranquilizer gun, sawed off its antlers, and removed the tire, which held 10 pounds of forest debris that had been around its neck for roughly half its life. Poor Jacek Zuk is a Polish photographer. One of his works is called Legless Japanese Businessmen. In Japan, drinking with clients or co-workers is a mark of company loyalty and considered part of the job. The drunk salaryman had become tradition and a part of their culture. The last words of the pilot of Transasia Flight 235 were "Wow, pulled back the wrong side throttle. 39 of the 58 people died." The vehicle for the horse scenes in Last of Us. 2 brothers from West Virginia who fought on opposite sides of the American Civil War in 1910. This is the hand of Saint Teresa in the Church of Nuestra Señora de la Merced in Ronda, Spain. This piece is traditionally visited and kissed by Christians. The relic is also the possible inspiration for the Infinity Gauntlet. Twin tornadoes in Iowa. On June 10, 2018, NASA officially had to say goodbye to the little rover that could. The Mars Opportunity rover was meant to last just 90 days and instead marched on for 14 years. It finally lost contact with Earth after it was hit by a fierce dust storm. For April Fool's Day, Pizza Hut in Taiwan sells zero harm pizza, which is just a ring of crust and can do zero harm to your physique. Alien wears ultra wide monitor, 2008. This Airbnb listing in Joshua Tree. A board installed between a butcher shop and a skate shop in Nantes, France, designed by artist Le Gentle Garçon. Leaf with lining that matches a palm. I've had this poisoned art frog since 2007. She's going on 16 years with me, and I have no idea how old she was when I got her. This Bible that my family has from 1684, featuring prayers for King Charles II and the Fire of London. In 1856, tensions leading up to the American Civil War resulted in Senator Charles Sumner being almost bludgeoned to death on the Senate floor by another member of Congress after becoming deeply offended by a fiery speech Sumner gave to Congress strongly condemning slavery. This is Han Astley, born in 1746, pictured here in 1840, a visual link going back nearly 280 years and likely the earliest born human captured on camera. In May 1945, Army Staff Sergeant Horace Evers wrote a letter home on Adolf Hitler's personal stationery. The last surviving widow of an American Civil War veteran was Helen Jackson, who died at the age of 101 in 2020. She was 17 when she wed the 93-year-old Union veteran James Bolin in 1936. The marriage was only a loophole so that Bolin could give Jackson his army pension during the Great Depression. During the Kilauea volcano eruption in Hawaii in May 2018, photographer Brad Lewis captured this impressive shot of methane flames emerging from fissures along the road. Sunken walkway in Ireland. This is the approximate location of the Sun and the Milky Way. The distance from us to the galactic center is 26,000 light years, where a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A is located. This pic was taken in 1982 at a restaurant in Rome. It features writer Gabriel Garcia Marquez, director Sergio Leone, Muhammad Ali, and Robert De Niro. They all had dinner together with the guy on the right, Gianni Minna. He was an Italian journalist, and he passed away today at the age of 85. Dagger of a Roman Legionnaire, before and after restoration. The geoid image of the Earth, also known as Potsdam gravity potato. Due to the uneven distribution of mass throughout the Earth, the geoid's shape is smooth but irregular, the gravitational equipotential surface of Earth, as depicted in the image below. Miner having his evening meal in England. Photographed by Bill Brandt in 1937. Arabian sand boa, its googly eyes are unfathomable. The contents of a Dutch police car. This McDonald's in Taupo, New Zealand, that has an actual plane you can dine in. World's coolest McDonald's, as chosen from 34,000 plus restaurants. Hashtag world's coolest McDonald's. Taupo, New Zealand. Stahl, also known as elf ear, a rare hereditary cartilage malformation. A 2,460-year-old coin from the city-state of Athens. Then and now, Sharbat Gula, who became an international symbol of war-torn Afghanistan after her portrait at a refugee camp was published on the cover of National Geographic magazine in 1985. She was evacuated to Rome in 2021 after her country fell to the Taliban. Electric vehicles charging in goods depot, St Pancras Station, London, 1917. This house I saw, made entirely out of shipping containers. This glacial rock sits in a field outside my city, Calgary, Alberta, carried by melting glaciers from those mountains in the distance. Dinosaur fossil with C. Found in Alberta, Canada. More Sinram Hill Station, Meghalaya, India. Also known as wettest place on earth, as it receives most rainfall in the world. The island behind the famous Disney animation, Mont Saint Michel. The Church of St. George in Lalibela, Ethiopia, is one of a number of hidden Christian churches carved out of the bedrock in the late 12th or early 13th century AD, and has been proposed as the 8th wonder of the world. We rescued this turtle from terrible conditions, and after 2 hours of swimming in the bathtub, she laid an egg. What a surprise. 1916, World War I. French woman pins flower on Indian soldier in France. Some 1.5 million Indians served in the Indian Army during World War I, and 1 million were deployed at various fronts. At the war's end, India had suffered more than 120,000 total casualties, men killed, wounded or missing. Giant red ring 360 kilometers across, known as an ELV, an upper atmosphere luminous phenomena caused by a powerful lightning bolt, was photographed over central Italy a few days ago. The Indian gaur, bison, is the largest extant bovid, and one of the most powerful species of wild cattle in the entire world. Body length between 8 feet 2 to 10 feet 10. Male gaur shoulders are a massive 56 to 87 inches high. Males weigh between 1,296 to 3,307 pounds. A perfect sample of not my job situation. Not my job. Cairo, Egypt knocked down half of apartment buildings to make room for a highway. Other half still occupied, and wall paint of demolished units still visible. Crazy laser gates from Mexico. They each have clear windows through which you can see bubble-like, botryoidal formations. The sound of the heart beating at the beginning of Smooth Criminal is Michael Jackson's own heartbeat. It was recorded by Dr. Eric Chivlin, shown in picture, and digitally processed through a synclavier. In 1960, USS Triton, SSRN 586, was on a top-secret mission to circumnavigate the world while submerged, Operation Sandblast, when Captain Ned Beach raised the periscope and was spotted by a Filipino fisherman. The terrified fisherman thought the periscope was the eye of a sea monster. The eye produces many types of tears with a different composition. This is the world's smallest artificial heart. The eye produces many types of tears with a different composition. Pulcher Football Stadium, Sikkim, India, Eastern Himalayan Range, capacity 30,000. Part of the amusement park Six Flags Over Texas, used to be named Confederacy. The fact baby carrots can split open 180 degrees around the xylem, instead of the usual crick open. The Dukha tribe, nomadic reindeer herders living in Northern Mongolia. Leaf insect on old vintage book page, using gouache. Surgeon Dr. Michael A. Medical school refused to accept him several times due to his short stature, and now he is a consultant pediatric orthopedic surgeon at Johns Hopkins. This will probably get me into trouble, but I feel I have to say it. Selling weed literally went from major felony to essential business. Opened during pandemic in much of America, and yet many are still in prison. Doesn't make sense, isn't right? Did you know? Ever wondered why judges break the nib of their pen after passing a death sentence? Breaking the nib is a symbolic act. It is done so that the pen which signed the person's life away will never be used to do that ever again. Did you know? Made in China. These made in China stickers are actually made in Korea. That's why the sticker lasts longer than the actual product. Oh my god. Pronghorn antelopes have 10 times vision, which means on a clear night they can see the rings of Saturn. He commented on my post. She replied to his comment. The guy replied again. She replied him back. And they were about to fall in love on my post. So I deleted it. The unsolved mystery of the silent twins. June and Jennifer Givens were unlike any other twins. They only communicated to each other through a secret language they had developed. Well known at the time as the Silent Twins. They committed burglary and arson in 1981 and were sentenced to detention. According to June, they had made a pact that for one of them to live free, the other must die. Jennifer gave up her life. Did you guys know that cheese is just a loaf of milk? Blind people smile like everyone else, even though they've never seen anyone else smile. It's just a natural human expression. Did you know? There is a resort in Japan, located on mountain peak from where you can see the sea of clouds floating below you. Your brain tends to make imaginary monsters when you stare in a mirror too long. Do you know? Sarah Taylor is the only woman who has played men's A-grade cricket. We forget 50% of our dreams within 5 minutes after waking up. 10 minutes later we forget 90%. 1. The average adult human brain weighs 3 pounds, has a texture like firm jelly, and is made up of 75% water. McDonald's has a gold card that allows it holder free and unlimited food forever. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates has won. Did you know? In 2005, some of Hindus were on Ganpati procession with dance and musical band on their way. When they were passing by they came across some of their Muslim brothers offering the namas silently. All the Hindus stopped the dance and music and crossed that place silently without disturbing the namas. This is the beauty of India. Richard Harris, the actor who played Dumbledore in Harry Potter, only accepted the role because his granddaughter said she would never speak to him again if he did not take it. Boxing is the only sport in which neither the spectators nor the participants know the score or the winner until the match ends. The America in World War II came to know about what a nuclear bomb could do to a city after Albert Einstein warned American authorities about Germany creating nuclear fissions. If this did not happen, Germany would have bombed any country in the Allied powers. With only 3% body fat, Helmut Strebel is the most shredded man alive. Stan Lee claimed he always wanted to play Odin, but admit that he was happy with Anthony Hopkins' casting and performance. Lake Natron in northern Tanzania is one of the harshest environments on Earth. Temperatures in the lake can rise to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius, and the alkalinity is between pH 9 and pH 10.5, almost as alkaline as ammonia. This causes enamel crushing into the water to calcify and look like stone figurines when they dry, save certain kinds of fish that have evolved to survive in such a caustic environment. Originally the game Dark Souls was titled Darkring, which was later changed because Darkring can be seen as a synonym for anus. Dark Souls. The doctor who discovered that hand washing prevented the spread of disease was thrown in a mental institution for his crazy idea. Most viral vaccines stop viruses from entering cells and replicating by preventing the virus from binding to cell receptors. This was the very first picture uploaded to the World Wide Web. The girls are from secretaries and partners of the CERN scientists. The cat's brain is biologically closer to the human than the dog's brain. Emotions in cats are triggered by the same parts of the brain as in humans' brain. Some people just act like they are trying to help you. Did you know? Taj Mahal stay dark at the night, and for 400 years there are no lights at Taj. Once government tried to put lights in Garden of Taj, but on first night all lights got broken. Same thing happened second time. It is written, Mumtaz's soul rest every night and some power protects it. It is impossible to illuminate Taj. According to scientists, your meanest friend is the one who cares about you the most. Grylls wanted to join the Indian Army after getting out of school. Presenter of the famous show, Man vs. Wild, Grylls always knew he wanted to do something adventurous with his life. No wonder his first choice was to join the Indian Army. Careful, rattlesnakes like to hang out in trees. The world's most strongest beer called snake venom is stronger than whiskey. The world is a cat playing with Australia. Did you know? The sunset under the clouds looks like the sky is on fire. Charlie Chaplin once lost in a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. Hugging is good for you. Lowers blood pressure. Lowers risk of heart disease. Reduce stress. Fights fatigue. Boosts your immune system. Eases depression. Did you know? Pringles are called Pringles because someone named them Pringles. A shark in a fish tank will grow 8 inches, but in the ocean it will grow to 8 feet or more. The shark will never outgrow its environment, and the same is true about you. Many times we're around small thinking people, so we don't grow. Change your environment and watch your growth. The fastest land mammal is a toddler who's been asked what's in their mouth. According to a 2017 study, males between the ages of 18 to 35 with longer than average foreheads tend to last longer in bed. A few months ago I learned that people who had been deaf from birth but gained their hearing later in life often say that they expected the sun to make a noise, and I've been thinking about that ever since. Did you know the National Aeronautics and Space Agency, NASA, once sent a mission to Mars? The team suffered a catastrophic event, leaving only one female crew member surviving. Don't believe me? Google Nat Haley Mars. 40% of schizophrenics are left-handed. However, only around 10% of the general population is left-handed. You should know. Kim Jong-un travels with his own toilet to prevent his excretion from falling into wrong hands. The waste contains information about his health status and can't be left behind. Lake Karachay, the most polluted place on Earth, located in the southern Ural Mountains in central Russia, was used as the dumping site for radioactive wastes from Soviet Union's nuclear weapon facilities. A banyan tree near Kolkata, India is bigger than the average walnut. A tiger's tongue is so strong that it can remove paint from wall and help to remove skin from flesh of its prey. The speed of a popping bubble, 90 miles per hour. Act crazy, stupid and be weird. You will get famous. The Su-152, more commonly known as the Königstiger, was a light tank used by the Polish in World War I. It carried a monstrous 37mm gun which could penetrate through all Russian armor with ease, and featured up to 20mm of sloped armor, rendering it impervious to most American guns. By 1914 however, American-made IS-2 medium tanks became common on the battlefields of Africa and the Su-152 lost its invulnerability. The Dagger is a gas crater located in Turkmenistan. It is also known as the Gates of Hell or Door to Hell. This is a natural gas field collapsed into a cavern. Hole of the gas crater, 230 feet wide, that has been on fire for over 50 years. Fiery glow. This gas crater can be seen for miles away. Sir Nils Olav II, an emperor penguin living in Edinburgh Zoo, was knighted in 2008 after being adopted into the Norwegian King's Guard. Surprisingly, King Harald V himself approved the promotions. Only female mosquitoes bite. The coconut crab is the largest crab in the world. It's capable of cracking open coconuts, as well as killing birds such as seagulls. Harvard University was founded before calculus was discovered.